Now, continue where we left off with the failed Russian offensive in the Vilnius region. 3 months later, they were able to form quite a successful offensive in the area, what's called the Battle of Lutsk. This was under Russian General Alexei Brusilov. He had an idea of just reinventing ways the Russians attacked. So a great deal amount of detail there that I can't fit into this segment here. So I invite you to look up exactly how he pulled it off. Now, he was going against Archduke Joseph Ferdinand. Now, Joseph Ferdinand thought he had a good, impregnable position. He also outnumbered the Russians by 25%. He had 200,000, the Russians had 150,000. He thought no one could touch him. And so the Russians began a bombardment in the beginning of June of 1916. And to everyone's surprise, it actually had great effect on the Austro-Hungarian barbed wire. It blew it to pieces. They were able to attack, and they did a successful offensives against Austro-Hungary, and they get back second, third trenches. The Austro-Hungarians, their officers panic. The Russians are cleaning house. At the end of the offensive, Austro-Hungary loses 130,000 men in 2 days. At the end of the entire offensive, they lose 1.5 million men in 25,000 kilometers, all because of the Brusilov offensive, until it eventually ran out of steam. Now, what this did is it also got the Austro-Hungarians to stop their attack against the Italians in the south, and it almost came this close to completely taking Austro-Hungary out of the war. But at this point also, the Germans and the Austro-Hungarians thought that the Russians were spent. They didn't have any means to continue the fight. But to everyone's shock, and nobody ever knew what to do with this. This would also be the same in the Second War. They did not understand how the Russians were always able to easily replenish their numbers. Even when they had horrifying losses, the Russians were always able to do that. And so, after this horrible loss by the Austro-Hungarians, actually the German High Command gets involved, wasn't even involved in this. They're just their ally, and they pretty much tell the leader of Austro-Hungary, so look, that guy needs to go. So he was fired. And that's pretty much what happened there in the Battle of Lutsk. Austro-Hungary is that close being knocked out of the war. There you go.